Tonight, how the kids took over.
Has there been any society in world history that has surrendered such control over their children?
Yeah, I'm here to see this.
Kids are calling the shots.
McDonald's!
And $1 trillion youth market is up for grabs.
Kids are at the epicenter of consumer culture.
Congratulations, it's a customer and a very new member of a purchasing elite. He doesn't know it yet, but he's the corporate world's new darling and soon to become a target for everything with a price tag in a carnival of branded enchantments. It's kids under 12 who are now the center of the marketing maelstrom.
Comparing the marketing of yesteryear to the marketing of today is like comparing a BB gun to a smart bomb.
The last 5 years is less a shift than an exponential explosion.
To the point now where the youth market is really $1 trillion market.
July 15th, 2005, 3 hours before midnight outside of Scholastic headquarters.
Look at this!
The U.S. publisher for Harry Potter. Tonight, they've closed off a major block outside their Manhattan office and transformed it into a magical world called Harry Potter Place.
Excellent, nice, good, excellent.
Harry Potter is more than a book. It's a brand, and this is one of the world's great brand events.
Hi guys, how are you? Hi. Are you staying up till midnight tonight? Yeah, very nice.
It's a marketing supernova, now worth billions of dollars, all because kids decided the story of the wizard was a winner.
Kids have turned on their grandparents. They've turned on their aunts and uncles. But we never, ever could imagine the phenomenon we're experiencing tonight.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Within 24 hours of the first sale, 7 million copies of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince were gone. The Barnstorm book selling was just the beginning. It's being followed by multi-million-dollar franchise deals and blockbuster movies. Selling to kids is not magic. It's big business.
Kids directly spend about $200 billion. They directly influence another $300 billion. Indirect influence that kids have today is in the area of another $500 billion. And that indirect influence goes for things like technology and the family vacation and the family car.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm here to see this.
Go ahead.
It's kids who have taken over the driver's seat. And almost every corporation now knows who's boss.
Do you have a business card?
Sure.
Thanks. I'll see you in about 20 years.
The hyper-consumerism of today's kids had its humble beginnings at the turn of the 20th century, when a new, romantic idea of childhood emerged. Children were seen as innocent creatures full of wonder and joy. To please a child became every honest parent's highest desire. Gift-giving became the very centerpiece of modern Christmas. Kids had a once-a-year wish list, and marketers a once-a-year opportunity. That was all about to change.
Say, kids, what time is it?
1947, Howdy Doody, the first American kid show to make its debut on Saturday morning television.
And howdy, Buffalo Bob. Well, howdy, Mr. Doody. And boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go!
Saturday morning would soon belong to kids.
Obviously, with programming that was dedicated to them, there was the opportunity in a very focused way for advertisers to reach kids efficiently.
Hey, it is Hasbro. Hasbro makes toys. What's new, Hasbro?
What's new is that marketers now had a direct channel to the kids all year round.
It's such fun to do, and so easy.
Mix and match, it's fun to do. What Barbie wears is up to you.
It was matched with the golden insight that they weren't just making toys, but manufacturing dreams for little girls.
G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe, fighting man from head to toe.
And little boys.
G.I. Joe has come!
Only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe.
Children were transported into a world of product-generated fantasies. But in the early days of television, the ride was slow. After all, only cash could speed the carnival, and the wallet was still in the pocket of father in a world where everyone made room for daddy.
Good morning, Daddy. Morning, Daddy.
All right, what does everybody want?
The marketers could only break through when kids had a real place at the table.
Honey, all he wants is a quarter.
Said no. That ends the episode. You understand?
And that wouldn't happen for another 20 years.
What we see in the late 60s and early 70s is the start of a more inclusive family. And parents at this time wanted to find a different way of parenting.
Look at me!
Now, kids were both seen and heard.
Look at me!
This program is called Look at Me because that's what kids most want their parents to do.
Look at me!
The 70s saw an explosion of parenting shows with a brand new message.
I am part of a family. My family is part of me. Grandma and Grandpa, maybe babies too. And don't forget, there's always you.
Marketing starts looking at them in the role of the marketing mix and how they can maximize that for competitive advantage.
Have it your way, have it your way, have it your way at Burger King.
Marketers seized the opportunity and reflected back a world that was becoming more kid-centered.
Kid stuff, marbles,
Dressing up,
skateboards,
horses.
They gave kids a starring role in these ads, as adults fell to the sidelines.
Cornell, $100,000 bar, chewy chew.
Marketers were catching on that kids were becoming influential at a time when consumer culture was moving into high gear.
Marketers, the consumer culture, everything is fast-forwarding. More choices are being offered, more television shows are becoming available, more kids are watching TV for longer hours. Like, everything is just moving at a faster pace and accelerating and building on that.
20th Century Fox and George Lucas now bring you Star Wars.
1977. The launch of Star Wars was an explosive advance in kids' consumerism.
It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time.
The makers of Star Wars took a chance to go where no kid marketer had ever gone before.
Well, the Star Wars phenomenon was a George Lucas gamble that the merchandise from Star Wars was going to be as enriching for him as the movie itself.
Now, the Earthlings at Kenner have asked my associate and me to present the Star Wars collection.
The gamble paid off. The movie broke box office records, grossing $307 million. But the toys and games were the real moneymakers, earning double.
These and other toys and games in Kenner's Star Wars collection are sold separately. May the Force be with you and your children.
And this idea that a movie could create a property and could create a storyline from which all of the merchandise across a number of different categories would appeal to kids was really the beginning of a new movement.
By the 1980s, kid marketers everywhere were testing out the Star Wars success. So they created television shows for the purpose of selling their toys.
And I became He-Man.
Programs like He-Man
And the Masters of the Universe.
Smile a sunny morning,
and Strawberry Shortcake.
sunny all the way. Something new is dawning. That it's called today.
In marketing lingo, they were known as program-length commercials. And they worked.
Sunny is in style, even if
Kids now had a wish list longer than ever, with an 80s parent more willing than ever to indulge.
give the sun a hand.
We have less time, and we start trading things for our time because we're time pressured and we're time poor. We become convenience crazed. These issues all impact us as a consumer culture.
A full-grown woman taking a doll out of a child's hand?
The Cabbage Patch craze of 1984 became the symbol of kids' newfound consumer influence.
I got pushed up against that glass. I was afraid to get pushed through it.
High divorce rates, working moms, and long hours at the office created a new kind of parent, one willing to risk their lives for a dumpy doll. Anything to please and appease their child.
It's crazy in there, yeah. They trampled everybody.
It's kids under 12 who are now the center of the marketing maelstrom.
Comparing the marketing of yesteryear to the marketing of today is like comparing a BB gun to a smart bomb.
The last 5 years are at the epicenter of consumer culture.
Congratulations, it's a customer and a very new member of a purchasing elite. He doesn't know it yet, but he's the corporate world's new darling and soon to become a target for everything with a price tag in a carnival of branded enchantments.
Tonight, how the kids took over.
Has there been any society in world history that has surrendered such control over their children?
Hey, I'm here to see this.
Kids are calling the shots.
McDonald's!
And $1 trillion youth market is up for grabs.
Kid is less a shift than an exponential explosion.
To the point now where the youth market is really $1 trillion market.